Welcome to Conversations with HJM. I'm Lisa Harris Jones.
And I'm Tommy Tompsett.
And today we have Congressman Anthony Brown.
It's great.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey, it's great to be here, Lisa and Tommy, in Ocean City, and it's wonderful seeing all our local elected officials, and so thanks for having me on.
Well, Congressman Brown, we're less than a year away from the primary. What do you see happening with both the Democrats and Republicans as we go into this election year?
Well, I think we're going to see a lot going on. We've got a lot of candidates on the Democratic side, not as many on the Republican side, and I think they're going to give Marylanders a lot to think about. We're still in a pandemic. We've got a lot happening on Capitol Hill, so the question for voters will be, how do those candidates translate that into results for Maryland? But I think it's also important that, notwithstanding the pandemic, these candidates have to find ways to engage voters, right? All of us have been virtual, whether it's Zoom, WebEx, whatever your platform is. So they're going to have to be creative in finding ways to engage voters as well as raising money. So I think that's what you're going to see.
So what are you working on right now on the Hill?
A lot. And so Congress right now, we've got our hands full with the bipartisan infrastructure package. That's big for Maryland. It's big for the country. We have been deferring, investments in infrastructure for as long as I can remember. So we're talking about investments in roads and rail, bridges, but we're also talking about broadband. Infrastructure, Democrats, we want to expand in that definition to include school construction. But we're also going to work on the American Families Plan, right? I know your viewers and you all have been talking about budget reconciliation. That's the human capital side. That's the extending universal pre-K to all 3 and 4-year-olds. We're talking about additional 2 years of education on the back end, which is free community college tuition. We're also talking about paid family and medical leave. So that's just as important to many of us as investments in infrastructure. Because if a single parent at home can't send their kids to a quality childcare, then they won't be able to participate in that new economy that we're creating. So as the president says, we've got to build back and build back better.
And so our next governor is going to have a tremendous ally with you in Congress. And what do you see your role at the federal level to help support our next governor and help support some of the policy initiatives he or she may have?
Sure. And also let me start by saying that, we've got a strong Maryland delegation. Leader Hoyer on the House side, leads us on the House side, Senator Ben Cardin, and we have always been actively engaged with state government because we understand you've got to have that federal, state, local engagement if we're going to get the best value out of the taxpayer dollars for residents, for citizens, for taxpayers. Whoever the next governor is, he or she, I would hope, would start by restoring that important relationship between the federal delegation, it's a strong delegation, and with state government as well as local officials. Because if we're going to add the greatest value for our residents, our citizens, the taxpayers, whether it's education, infrastructure, job creation, you've got to have everyone working together. That's been lacking under the Hogan administration, and I'd like to see under the next administration that our next governor is willing to work with the delegation.
So we don't want to keep you. I know you're here for the MACO conference here in Ocean City, and we're so thankful that you joined us. Is there anything else, any other thoughts you'd like to leave with our viewers?
What I would say to your viewers is that, regardless of party, I firmly believe Democrats, Republicans who run for office, whether they run for Congress, and it's not always that apparent, but certainly in state government and county government, right? County government is where so much happens. And the folks that do this, they do it because they really believe in service and making a difference, improving the quality of life in their community. So while we're here at MACO in Ocean City, let me just applaud the men and women who run for county level office and who serve in county government.
Well, Congressman, thank you for joining us. We know you have a lot on your plate here in Ocean City with the MACO conference, and we appreciate you taking time out to stop by and talk with us.
Well, thanks for having me, Lisa and Tommy, and look forward to coming back soon.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us with Conversations with HJM.